a few days ago, we had the sheriff and some of the deputies come and visit us. And I've been thinking about one of the things that they said during our pre-lunch conversation when we were just hanging out and drinking tea. And one of them said, you know, we have to hold ourselves to a higher sense of integrity than other people. You know, so because they're in law enforcement, they need to hold a higher sense of integrity. And I think as monastics, the same applies to us, you know, that we have to have a higher sense of integrity. We have to have better ethical conduct than everybody else. And that's what we signed up to do, okay? We signed up to work on ourselves, to improve our ethical conduct, you know. And when I say hold ourselves to a higher standard, I don't mean getting tight and neurotic about the whole thing, okay? Certainly Buddha didn't want that. But just in our mind, to have the kind of dignity and integrity of being a monastic, you know, and holding that as something dear to our own heart, so that we look at our mind, and when all these wants come, I want this, I need that, you know, I gotta have this, what about that, how come this, that when all those things pop up in our mind, we come back to, you know, our sense of integrity and holding ourselves to that kind of higher standard in the way, and to use that as a way of limiting our attachment and our anger and so on, not as a way of stifling ourselves or getting tight and neurotic, but just as a way of, you know, I signed up to do this, and so this is my job, yeah? And so one of the things that we constantly find that we have to pull ourselves back on is when we look around the place, we can think of 1,003 things that it would be so nice to have. Yeah, either personally or for the Abbey, you know, it would really be nice to have a rug this color in this place. It would be really nice to have, you know, another set of drawers over here. It would be really nice to have certain kind of bowls and certain kind of utensils in the kitchen. It would be really nice to have a certain tool out in the workshop, you know. So our it would be nice, you know, things are unlimited, totally unlimited. Our mind can take it, and it would be nice I can think of a lot of things that would be nice to have, you know. Some of them don't even exist yet. Yeah, but whether they exist or don't exist, yeah, my job is to monitor my own mind and to look at my mind, and when do I start saying, you know, it would be so nice to have this. It's under our $200 limit, whereby we have to look, you know, ask permission. And it's just a little thing, and it gives me, you know, when they were saying about the other day when we were talking about being online and having your cell phone and getting that little ping of dopamine, you know, every time you like something or see something, I bet that same thing happens when you buy something online. You know, even it's something small. You need a connector from one computer to the other. Never mind, we don't want to go look for one. It's easier to buy a new one. They're only $2. You know, but we do that, and there's this ping of, I get something, you know. I bet you that there's a dopamine thing that happens with that. So we get really addicted, you know. It's like, oh, look over there, our fruit is in a metal bowl. I think a glass bowl would be much nicer. You know, let's get one. Ping! you go online and get your glass bowl, and then you look over there the next day and, well, the glass bowl, actually, it's too heavy. I don't like having glass in the kitchen. We need, another kind of lightweight bowl made out of some other something, so you go online, ping, and you get your dopamine shot ordering, the $5 bowl. Yeah. But these are the kind of things that we need to look out for. Look out for our addiction to, these little pings from getting little things. Yeah. Look out for our addictions just to, looking externally for different stuff and having no limit to I want, I need, Yeah, same thing for the schedule. Oh, couldn't we change the schedule? It'll be so much better. All these people are gone, this and that. And then it takes, 3 hours for the community to decide something, but you're only going to save a half an hour by changing something to start with. And, just before you even bring the thing up, to say, yeah, I'm holding myself to a higher standard. I don't need to rearrange the external world so that I get everything I want when I want it. Yeah, and especially about the material things. I don't need to have everything that I think I need or think I want, because it's all limitless, isn't it? And then also in our speech, holding that standard of, I need to tell the truth. Yeah, I don't need, I'm not gonna explain something. Yeah, I'm just gonna be truthful about it, okay? And I'm not gonna hold my stuff in out of fear of what other people are gonna think or say to me if I say such a thing. And then later, explode because I've held it all in and blame everybody else for not understanding me when I haven't tried to even express myself. So, when I talk about, holding ourselves to standards, it's about looking at how, we can improve our conduct so that we can make a more harmonious environment around us. And so, although I'm talking to all of us as monastics, this certainly applies to life in families, life at an office with your colleagues, any kind of work situation. Yeah, and just to have a sense of dignity or integrity about what we want to be as a human being and what we can be as a human being. Okay? Now, tell me what you want. Any kind of questions or comments or anything? Yeah.
The thing that just astounds me is that if we actually did that, we'd get happier. And yet, we keep grabbing after these things.
Yeah.
Stay miserable.
Yeah.
So it's the ignorance.
Yeah, that if we gave up the craving for the little pings, we would be happier. Whereas if we just act out our own habitual whatever, we stay in that cycle of being dissatisfied. Because we never have everything. That, saying holding ourselves to a higher standard, the way the police did. That when I say that, it makes me feel good. Yeah, it makes me feel good. I know I'm not going to be perfect in doing it, but it makes me feel good that, I have that kind of goal because I admire that. That's something I admire. I was thinking that for other people, hearing that, instantly they go back into, oh no, I'm being held to a standard, and people are going to judge me if I don't meet it, and I'm going to fail, and then they're going to know I can't do it, and it's going to be awful, and they're putting all these rules and regulations on top of my head that I don't want. You know, somebody could hear those same words and go in an entirely different way in their mind and feel totally confined and miserable and oppressed. I'm seeing a couple of people smile here. I'm glad I'm saying this. Huh? Trapped, yeah. Trapped. Yeah. And to see that it's the same words. And for one person, they feel a sense of dignity, and another person, their minds fabricate something entirely different. Yeah? So this is something really interesting to look at in our mind about when we hear something. And this really involves NVC, you know? Like in NVC, they're always getting us to look at what actually happened. Not what we think happened, but what actually happened. What actually did somebody say? Not what we think they really meant or whatever. So it's a very good opportunity to stop and say, wow, I'm hearing this, and look where my mind is going with it. Yeah? And you know what? This is a habitual pattern I have in my life. You know, you say anything to me, and I immediately feel trapped, judged, held to rules that I don't agree with. Yeah? Immediately, I feel that. So, is this problem with what other people are saying, or is this problem with where my mind is going? So very interesting, because this is the way to get free of your feelings of being trapped and judged and confined and limited. Yeah, because as long as you feel other people are doing this to you, you're never going to be free from those feelings, because there's always other people around. But as soon as, you know, we're able to look and say, other people aren't judging me and confining me and trapping me and bossing me around. You know, this is how I am interpreting it, and I have the option of interpreting it differently. Yeah, I have the option of looking at what they really said without adding my own special kind of chili powder to it. Okay? And then when, you know, you can do that and you can dismantle that habit, then, you know, you're so much freer. You know, and you don't feel judged, and you don't feel trapped, and you don't feel threatened, and you don't feel oppressed, and everything else. Yeah, because your mind's different. You're not putting that on yourself anymore. Yeah.
I did want to say that there's something about wearing the robes that I think in our world people are really looking for people that they can find trustworthy. Mm-hmm. And that it gives, you know, I see when we go down and teach down at UU, as the years have gone on, is that when we come, they look up to us as someone that I become very strongly aware that the way in which I wear the robes and how I behave is something that they really look up for me too, you know, mm-hmm. and it's really held me accountable that I want them to be able to trust my words, my behavior, what I'm sharing. And so I think that the world in general is looking for role models to mm-hmm. be able to emulate that, and I think having the robes and keeping our precepts, we have voluntarily committed ourselves to doing the best to represent the best in all of us, wherever mm-hmm. we are.
Yeah.
And that I've really seen a difference in our relationship to the folks in the class, because we're willing to be transparent, we're willing sort of articulate our own struggles with trying to be ethical people and kind people. And instead of that making it look like, well, you're wearing robes, I would have expected more from you, is to say, wow, they're just like us, and look at how hard they're working, and look at the fruits of their work, and maybe I can do that as well. So
Yeah.
I've really seen a difference in the way people are practicing because we've been willing to be transparent on how difficult but how fruitful it can be to
Yeah.
hold your values really close.
Right. And I think that transparency is really important. When we start pretending that we're above everything and everyone, we're done. Finished. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, very dangerous, I think, for the Dharma and for the faith of the community in general when we observe out there in the world people who wear robes, who say they're monastics, and then they proceed to behave in ways that are not what we would consider monastic ways.
Yeah.
Very damaging.
Yeah. Yeah. Very damaging. And this has been a problem since the Buddha's time. Yeah, which is why so many precepts got established. Because people will wear robes and then not act properly, and then it causes other people to lose faith. So actually, when the Buddha set up each precept, there were 10 reasons why, and one of the conditions is to inspire faith in people who don't have it and maintain faith in people who do have it. But we are definitely imperfect beings, and we will make mistakes. So the thing is to be honest about our mistakes. You know, that's why in the 57 faults, that one of concealment, you know, instead of getting a ping, maybe you got a pong from that one. Yeah, because it's sometimes really tempting, you know, like, I'm not so proud of that one, so let's hide that one, you know, and to overcome that as much as we can. Of course, that doesn't mean blabbering it all over the place, but, you know, not being secretive.